If you are budgeting Google Ads like it's 2020, then you are wasting money. Back then you could throw $10,000 on Google Ads and you might get lucky. But today, higher cost per click, tighter margins, stronger competition, and messy attribution. The game has changed. And this is why in this video, I will help you decide how much you should spend on your Google Ads, regardless if you are just starting out or you are already in the scaling phase with your e-commerce business. So when we consult with a potential e-commerce partner, it's one of our first questions to ask, okay, so what is your current budget for your Google Ads? And then typically they ask me back, you are the expert and I expect your guidance regarding this. Or if they are already running ads, then they tell me what they did in the past, but they still ask me this question. And typically many founders, they think about it as a tight budget, not even mentioning marketing managers. They are usually even more risk averse. So they really think about it as a strict budget and how much they can spend this month. However, when it comes to marketing, we must think more loosely, and I believe we must think about the ROI and not just how much to spend in a particular month. So I think it's a better way to ask instead, how much can we afford to pay Google to acquire a new customer while we are growing profitably in that particular month? And Google Ads isn't about how big your ad budget is. It's more about how smartly it aligns with your margin and the ratio of your customer acquisition cost versus your customer lifetime value. That being said, let's jump to my computer and I will show you how we really think about it in our agency. So before we jump into how to think about budgeting your Google Ads, I think it's super important to really have a mind map. What will happen with a new Google ad account, how you should think about optimization. And then I will talk about customer acquisition, how this relates to your ad spend and also keyword research. So I will talk a lot about search ad types, and not because it's the most relevant in e-commerce, because actually it's not, but search is the ad campaign type that is the clearest to understand, and then you can use the same principle across all of your Google ad campaigns. So bear with me. Whenever we have a new Google ad account, in month one, we typically just focus on clicks and conversions, especially clicks at the beginning. So whenever we set up a new campaign, we want to get 10 clicks per day to your website, and ideally we want to start generating conversions. This is why we focus on KPIs such as clicks, click-throughs, and then also conversions and conversion rate. We optimize for negative keywords, we monitor search term reports, and monitor the conversion tracking. And this is really the moment when we just use lower budgets. So in month one, we typically spend around $30 to $50 per campaign. And at the beginning, we don't use many campaigns, so we can use a search campaign. Typically, rather we use a shopping campaign for your top selling products, and yeah, basically that's where we start. We really just want to get traffic and data in your Google ad account. And actually here's the first mistake. So many brands, they think that I can spend $10,000 and Google will spend this starting day one. So that's not the case, because Google is a pay-per-click platform. So actually if you have no clicks, then Google will not spend your money. Google actually really cares about the quality of your ads and if you show relevant products to those people. So typically what really happens, you can set your ad budget even to $1,000 a day, but in most cases Google will not spend it because it's just early optimization days, and again you will not get a huge number of clicks in the early days. So that's why even if you want to spend a lot of money, Google will typically not allow you to do that. Yeah, here we just want to get clicks, and typically we spend around $1,000, $3,000, $4,000 per month. I mean in the first month, and not more. So typically in this early stage, we start with conversions. We want to maximize the number of conversions as a bidding strategy, and we also don't set a target CPA at this point. And then in month two, we start transitioning. So here we try to optimize towards minimum 30 conversions conversions per month per campaign. And here we already have some data. We still continue monitoring these 4 metrics. We add negative keywords, we monitor search term report, we pause low performing keywords, review budget allocation. So we start playing with the budget as well. If you are not in search but in shopping or something else, then you can even create new campaigns depending on your spend. Maybe you can create a second shopping campaign with the not as well performing campaigns, or you can create a branded search campaign. So you can play around, but yeah, here we still optimize towards conversions. And month 3 is the point when we actually start having a target CPA. So we typically check the data from the past couple weeks, see what is realistic, and then we try to go down regarding our target CPA. And if you use conversion value, then we play with the ROAS and we try to increase that number. Now I will cancel this. So number 3, when we try to focus on profitability and we pay attention to ROAS or CPA, depending on what you aim for. And here we try to test target CPA, target ROAS bidding strategy. And from this point on, we come up with multiple campaign types as well. So this is how the ideal growth curve looks like. And as I said, in month 1, don't expect that you will spend too much. Also, how ad budgeting works in Google. So if you have a daily ad budget, then Google will multiply it by 30. That's your monthly ad budget, and that's the maximum amount that Google will spend on your account. However, it can happen that on certain days it will spend twice as many as your daily budget. But don't freak out, because this will be balanced out by the end of month, so you will never overspend. Okay, so now that you understand how to grow an account and how it really looks like, now I think it's worth to look into keyword research. So this is what we do for our clients, especially on new accounts. So check out my YouTube video about keyword planning and how it's done. You can also find it in the Google ad course that I just published a few months ago. But basically we get into the keyword planner of Google. So I just opened up the keyword planner and you can click discover new keywords. Let's say I want to look into this very specific category, so hydrogen water bottle, and make sure that your location is correct. So, okay, now let's hit get results, and basically here you will see a lot of related keywords. So now I don't want to get into it, and you can also add branded keywords like Amazon is here already. You can refine them, but basically here you will see the keywords, and this is what we collect into the spreadsheet. So basically we get the average monthly searches. That is quite many in the US, 3 month change, year over year change, and competition, impression share. And then here you can see if you want to be on the top of the page, typically it's around the first, low range versus high range. So basically your position on the Google page, and you can see the differences. But basically we take the average of these two, so we average them out, and that's what we use. So this is what you can see here. And we also add seasonality, so different months. And based on this, we come up with a pessimistic, optimistic, realistic scenario. So here you can see the monthly average searches across all of these keywords. So this comes from here, let's say January, and it's around 175,000. So yeah, there is 175,000 searches for these top keywords. And then basically from this point on, we have a lot of estimates. So average click-through rate of the ads is an estimate. And then from this, we can calculate the average clicks, the average cost per click, which is provided by Google. So again, that's the average of the low range and high range. Basically, those are here. And I will go back. Estimated conversion rate of your website. So this is an estimate again, and the ad click-through was also an estimate. And once we know the conversion rate and the traffic to the site, we will know the estimated number of purchases. We know the AOV. So basically, we will know the revenue from the ads if we use these keywords. And then we can get even deeper. I don't want to get into it now, but we ask the client about their unit economics, and we will know the gross profit and the profit margin as well. We come up with an optimistic, pessimistic scenario where basically we just change the click-through rate and the conversion rate of the website, and then basically we will know what we can expect with this ad spend, with this unit economics, and basically just the current landscape of these keywords. So that's how we use the keyword planner to really know what we can expect with a given ad spend and with the given KPIs by Google. And here you can also see the estimated ad cost. So if you want to use these keywords for your search ad, then this is the estimated ad cost that we will need to use. So this can be used super well for a new ad account and a newer business. But again, in month one, we typically don't spend this much. It's typically spent like this in the second, third months, and then after, especially if we are profitable. So this is how we define the ad spend for a new account and typically a new business. And also I will share this template with you. You can freely download it in the description. Even the formulas are there, so feel free to use them and you will know how to calculate with your potential ad spend if you run a new Google ad account. Okay, so after the keyword research process, let me share with you how you need to think as a more matured business, a bootstrap business who doesn't have any VC money or angel investor money. So really just bootstrap businesses, just like most of our clients. So here we have a ROAS calculator, and here we have this one here, and how we call it is CAG founding calculator. So what this does is basically what you want to do as a growing business, if you want to grow profitably, basically the most expensive purchases are always the new customers. You have to pay Google, the ad platform, to acquire those new customers, and you want to fund that spend using the profit of your existing customers. So this is the basic model, and since repeat purchases are cheaper to acquire, 5, 7, 10 times cheaper than new customers, the profit margin will be much higher on repeat customers. So this is why we are really bullish on email marketing as well, and basically increasing your customer retention rate, because you will get much more profit on those guys and you can reuse that money into your new customer acquisition. So this calculator will exactly tell us how much you can spend on your ads with a given number of customers in a certain month and with a given profit. So let me just walk you through this. Here we know the average order value and we put here repeat order AOV. So let's say I will make it $100. So let's say it's $100. The gross margin, let's say 75%. Fulfillment and other costs per order is only $5. Monthly repeat orders, let's say I will just change it for the sake of this video. Let's say 5,000 repeat orders, and the customer acquisition cost for a new customer, let's say I will set it high, it's $40. So to acquire a new customer is $40, and this is my gross margin, my shipping cost, and I also have 5,000 repeat orders who spend $100 each time when they order something. So these are all given. I provided this data from Shopify, and then this is calculated. So gross profit per repeat order will be $75. Contribution profit per repeat order is $70. So this one is an important number. Basically, this tells us how much money my company or the e-commerce company earns per repeat customer. We deducted the cost of goods already, the shipping cost, the ad cost, all of that. So $70 is basically our profit is $70 per return customer. And then we know we have 5,000 of them each month. So it will be just multiplied, these two numbers, and it will tell me that each month I will have $350,000 as profit coming from returning customers. And then I can use that money wherever I want. If I want to spend it on Google Ads, then I can do that. And then here, since we know the acquisition cost of a new customer, we can divide the two numbers, and it will tell us that if I spent 350K a month on acquiring new customers, and if my customer acquisition cost is $40, I can acquire almost 9,000 of them every single month. So this is why we call it CAC funding calculator. So basically we found the acquisition of new customers from the margin, from the profit of returning customers. And of course, if you are a smart business owner, you will not spend all of this money on ads and acquiring new customers, but still it gives you a reasonable data what you could potentially spend in a given month. So I'm a big fan of margin of safety. I wouldn't spend this money for sure. Also, you have fixed costs, but you will know what's your fixed cost with the company, and also what is your tolerance with risk. And then you probably want to spend a third of it, or I don't know, maybe half of it on your ads, on your Google ads. So this is a really good estimate, and you will also know, okay, this month I can acquire this many of new customers. All right, so just to wrap it up, so you need to really be cautious about your plan regarding Google Ads. If you are just starting out, then really consider this 3-month, 90-day plan with a new account, and you want to optimize for clicks in month 1. Just make sure you spend enough money, at least $50 a day on your Google Ads, and then in month 2 you can start focusing on conversions, and month 3 you can start focusing on profitable purchases and conversions, and you can start using TCPA or TROAS and start changing those. And again, don't freak out if Google overspends or underspends on a particular day. On a 30-day period, it will all balance out in your account. And again, if you are starting out, use the keyword planner. I will share it below into the description so you can swipe it and you can use it. And if you already spend a couple thousands per month and you want to scale, then use this CAC funding calculator. This will give you a very nice feeling how much you can spend and you should spend on Google Ads. And you will see there are still limitations there. So if your ads, they don't convert, or you know, some ad campaigns, they die out, then you will not spend the money that you'd like to spend. But this calculator will give you a good hunch how much you should spend on your Google Ads. I would be also cautious about drawing conclusions based on a daily performance. If you have a small account, even on a weekly performance, so you definitely need time. Also, don't freak out if Google underspends, overspends on a particular day or even week. I hope you enjoyed, and even more importantly, you learned something from this video. This YouTube channel exists because I found too much shit out there on YouTube when it comes to e-commerce growth marketing. In the past 6 years, my team and I, we worked with more than 200 e-commerce stores. We generated a 9-figure extra revenue for them. And today I made available our Google Audit cheat sheet for you that you can download for free in the description if you scroll below and you check out the link. That being said, see you in my next video.